मैं शांति से आया हूँ गुलामों से न ढूंढने, लेकिन तुम मुझे जालिम समझ रहे हो। शायद मैं जालिम नहीं हूँ, लेकिन तुम हो।
This is Brero Girls in Song.
Today we have someone very special with us. They are a former contestant of Big Boss 10, Miss India runner-up 2004, and now they serve as the MLA for Gora Pakora Pradesh. Please welcome the magnificent Aarya Daily.
ये क्या है?
ये क्या है? ये है parota and chicken pepper fry quesadillas.
Wow.
Yeah, cheers.
Namaste और सलाम. I'm really excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
सबसे पहला क्वेश्चन तो मुझे आर्य से पूछना पड़ेगा कि आप कैसा महसूस कर रहे हो जनाब?
बिल्कुल ठीक. हमें दिल्ली बहुत पसंद है.
It's so great to have you. It's such a delight.
And we're going to indulge in some interesting conversations. But before we do, we must go back in time.
चले?
चलो.
Oh yeah.
Hey guys, we're here. This is gonna be awesome.
Is it? Let's find out.
या अल्लाह. या कल्लू.
कल्लू कौन है?
कल्लू कौन है यार?
What,
When was this built?
This was built before the Mughals came.
So this is Delhi's Sultanate. La ilaha illallah. Muhammad Rasulullah.
Do you feel any spirits so far?
Man, I'm a sucker for some engraving. Oh, I love climbing up shit. Oh, let's go.
oh my gosh, this goes. Where does this go? This goes up to the roof.
I hear water. Don't you hear water? Is it water?
आर्या, मैंने सुना है कि आप उर्दू पढ़ते हैं.
जी थोड़ी सी.
कुछ शेर हमें भी सुना दीजिए.
बंद कमरे में
वाह वाह.
कैसे भागोगे?
कैसे भागोगे?
बंद कमरे में कैसे भागोगे?
वाह वाह बोलना होता है.
गांठ में लंड होगा तो कैसे पादोगे? How does this happen? Trees. One thing I love about South Asia and India is like y'all care about parks and gardens.
आर्या, आपने कब डिसाइड किया कि आपको हिंदी और उर्दू दोनों सीखनी है?
So it's a long dark story, but why don't we talk about it in the future? Yo, we're back. वापस आ गए भविष्य में.
So my first question to you is, what is it that you're doing in India?
I'm a full-time student of language at the moment.
I'm just very curious. Of all languages,
Why Hindi, why Urdu, and why India?
हमें हिंदुस्तान बहुत पसंद है. ये काफ़ी अच्छा देश है ना. और कितनी संस्कृतियाँ मिलती है, कितनी भाषाएं मिलती हैं यहाँ पे. कितना खाना, like India is like if Europe was a single country. चुप कर गोरे.
and so I had a dream to learn a second language, since I was really, really young.
And one day I found that I had some time on my hands, shall we say, and I just decided like Hindi was the move. It just like made sense, right? It's an important language. It's the third most spoken language. Taken together, Hindi and Urdu is the third most spoken language on the planet, and it's I think it's so overlooked in the West. So I decided I was going to take a stab at it because Spanish seemed boring and Chinese seemed too hard.
So Aarya, you just said that you had some time on your hands. What was that time about?
Yeah, so क्या 2019 में हम जेल में गए थे actually. क्या जुर्म था हमारा? Yo, are these dosa tacos? Like, I gotta try. I gotta know.
Didn't even cheers with me. What?
I'm excited, okay? I'm excited. क्या बात है?
यार मौसम इतना अच्छा हो रहा है, धूप भी निकली, बाहर चलें?
Chalo chale. So Aarya, you said that you went to prison in 2019. उसके बाद से अब तो हम 2025 में हैं, काफ़ी साल हो गए। बीच में क्या हुआ?
यार बहुत कुछ हो गया। Probably can't show me twerking at the Makwara. So I was released from prison in early 2020. I got back into school and started finishing my bachelor's degree. I kept trying to like study Hindi with language learning apps, but I didn't make a lot of progress because an app just isn't like a good replacement for conversation, for like real classes.
And so I finished my undergrad degree in 2022? 2022? Yeah. And after that, like I just had one desire, and that was to study Hindi in an academic setting.
I came to know that there's a thing called South Asian Studies that you can get a master's degree in.
And that you don't need a bachelor's degree in to do. And somehow I got admitted to a program, and so I did a master's in South Asian Studies for 2 years, where I studied Hindi, studied Urdu in an academic setting, made a lot of progress, and now here I am.
आर्या, क्या अब आप clean हैं?
पर नशा नहीं करेंगे यार, प्लीज प्लीज हमें छोड़ दो। बिल्कुल
Wow.
बिल्कुल।
ये कैसे हुआ? आपकी जिंदगी में ऐसा क्या मतलब क्लिक करा कि आपने सोचा कि बस अब मुझे अपनी दुनिया बदलनी है?
हाँ, क्या सवाल है? तो यार, हम नशा करने लगे क्या 13 साल की उम्र में?
You dirty, dirty dog! So, I started smoking weed and drinking like from my childhood, right? 13 to 23, a decade of my life. Most like half as a child. I was getting high, and I think like nasha was something that was kind of like magical to me at first, and I became obsessed with it. It kind of became my god. It became a higher power. And I never turned down an opportunity to do it, right? For 10 years. And that just like led me down this road, right? Like the wreckage of addiction like doesn't happen all at once. It's a train wreck in very slow motion.
जी,
क्या आप डिप्रेशन में जा रहे हो?
हाँ।
ये क्या हो गया?
Because only so much can happen in one day. But over the course of weeks and months and years, like things just slowly get worse and worse, and you slowly lose yourself, and you get to a point, right, where like there's nothing left, and you can't recognize yourself, and you're living a life that you're not enjoying and that you don't recognize. And so like that's the path that I walked down for a long time, right? And I continued on that path, by the way, after I got out of prison, right? Like I went to prison because I was selling drugs as well as doing them, because selling drugs is a logical decision. When you're a drug addict, right? You can have them
money.
around. You need
You need
money,
money.
right? It's an easy way to make money, and what better way for a drug addict to make money than with drugs? So I was actually somewhat clean in prison because drugs were hard to come by, and I did everything like
Weed, alcohol, opioids, like you name a drug, I've probably done that. Seriously. But even after prison, like I went back to it. It pulled me back, and another year went by after prison. And then one day, like, I don't know what it was. It was March 18th, 2021. So
तकरीबन 4.5 साल पहले. And I was doing intravenous fentanyl at the time, right? This is like heroin but stronger. And something was different that day, I had all my stuff, and I got up in the morning and I did my shot, and I just felt like empty. I felt completely empty inside, Like I did drugs, I got high because I like wanted to feel good, I wanted to change the way I felt, right? I wanted to be in control of how I felt. And like getting high is a way of doing that. The problem is that it fucks up everything else. And so I feel like for the first time, like I did a bunch of the drug that I like to do and I felt nothing. I felt nothing. And I just like heard this voice in the back of my mind that was like, stop. And so I threw everything away and, I started attending some self-help groups and spiritual communities, shall we say. And so, yeah, almost 5 years have elapsed since then. And life got really good.
Do you think there were times when you felt like you need to ask for help, but you felt alone, so you really couldn't communicate or connect with people who could get you that help?
Yes. I mean, I think what you just described is like the feeling of being in active addiction. And I think like a phrase that we hear a lot of the time is being alone in a crowded room, right? And I think that's a common feeling of the active addict, because for me at least, like, when I was getting high, when I was in that mind state, either when I was high or when I wasn't, but I like still was a bunch. Like it's so alienating from other people, from society. Like I was so wrapped up in myself and my own ego and my own thoughts and emotions and fears that like I couldn't adequately connect with other people, right? And like the funny thing is like that's all I wanted. And I think as human beings, like that's the only thing that we want. We want to connect with others. We want to love and be loved. And I was just like incapable of doing that in that state. So yeah, I felt like that all the time. Like I needed someone to talk to. I needed to reach out to somebody, but I couldn't because I felt like nobody was around, even if people were around, right?
Do you feel like there are signs that one should look out for people that they care about if they feel like they are going down a dark path?
Yeah, so I think like a huge sign is just isolation, right? Of like isolating yourself all the time, of being in your room, of like not effectively like interacting with and communicating with the people closest to you in your life, right? Like when I was in active addiction, like my relationship with my parents was terrible, right? And even when I was living with them, like, these should be the people that are closest to me that I should be talking to about my life and trusting. And like, that wasn't happening at all. And I think that was a big giveaway. And they knew what was going on. And I know that like it hurt them a lot to see me in that state. But I think they knew that like, if I'm gonna change, I have to be willing to change. Like I have to want that. And I think that's the hardest thing about like addiction and even like other mental health issues and stuff like that is like it has to come from within. Like you have to make that decision. Nobody can make you better.
So what would you say would be the first response a person should give in case they see a cry for help?
The most important thing I think is just to like listen to that person, right? To just be there for them, to not judge, and to appreciate that like this person is hurting inside. This person is having a hard time in their life. And to not immediately be like, because right, the impulse of a lot of us when somebody tells us their problem is like, okay, you need to do this, this, and this. This is your problem, and this is what you need to do, right? And in the moment, and that advice can be true, right? But in the moment also, that's not helpful. Like first and foremost, you just need to be a safe person to talk to, a safe person for your loved one to express themselves with, to go to you with their problems, right? So it's just that unconditional love and acceptance without the judgment, without the immediate prescription.
What do you think is the best thing that has happened since sobriety?
Oh God. You got it? Like, I cry today. I can cry today out of like love and appreciation. I'll cry like once every month or two out of love. I was not able to do that for a decade of my life. And I like needed to so bad, like I needed that release, you know? I needed to feel those things. Today I can feel those things. I can feel all of the things, the bad things too, but the difference is that I can sit with them today, right? I don't have to run from them. I don't have to go like, oh God, I feel bad. I have to change this right now. I can be like, shit, I feel bad. I feel bad today. I feel bad right now. That's okay. And that's gonna change because everything changes.
I think I also want you to give a message to people who might be struggling or people who know their friends who are struggling, how they can be better.
I think the biggest thing is that you can't do it alone. You can't do it alone. And I didn't get sober alone. I didn't get clean alone. I didn't just decide one day that I was going to be clean and then never pick up a drug again, right?
I talked to the people in my life about it, and then I joined communities and fellowships, right, that were centered on substance abuse, and I got in the center of these communities of people trying to help each other and support each other, right? And I uptook this philosophy of life that says,
like, I am not God, right? I am not the end all be all of this universe.
and I have to look outside of myself. I can't just get caught up in my own shit. And like the biggest way to do that is to have community, to be present with the people around you. Like it's all about community. It's all about community. So you have to find community. You have to open up. You can't do it alone. You just can't do it alone.
And like life isn't made to be lived alone, right? Like we're social animals. We're evolved to be together, you know?
I don't know about y'all, but I feel crazy if I haven't talked to another person before like a certain time in the morning, you know?
I'm really grateful that you are able to share all of this with us.
And you have no shame, and that you actually accept all of the flaws that you had, and you accept that you
And
The thing is, I still have all those flaws, right? I still have all
at
those
least
flaws.
without the chemicals.
Yeah, exactly. Without the chemicals, and without the chemicals, then you can start to acknowledge, you can start to accept, you can start doing the work to not act on those flaws. Like, I'm still a flawed human being. I can still be selfish and self-centered. But the difference is today, like, I have the practice of looking at that, of seeing that, and I don't have to act on that today. Like, I have that choice today. And that's the choice that you get, or the choice that I got, you know, when I stopped getting high, you know.
I am so deeply, extremely inspired by this story. It talks about redemption, it talks about second chances, it talks about reclaiming your own narrative and how you rebuild yourself from zero.
I think what you said was really true, is that I don't have shame about it today. And also, I don't have regrets. I don't regret anything. I don't regret any of the pain. I don't regret going to prison. I don't regret any of that, because like that was my path. That was my path. And look where the path has led me, you know? Like, I live a beautiful life today. I'm surrounded by people today. I have opportunities today. Once again, I'm living my dream. I'm like studying the language that I want to be fluent in the country that I have dreamed of living in. So like everything that happened for a reason, you know? It led me to this moment.
First of all, we need to get this person an Aadhaar card because
Please. यार मोदी जी
तो आर्या, हमने अभी बहुत ही ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट चीज़ों के बारे में बात करी और काफ़ी सीरियस हो गया. थोड़ा सा लाइटन अप करें.
एक रैपिड फायर तो बनता है ना दोस्तों?
ठीक है.
तो सबसे पहला क्वेश्चन है आपके लिए, कुरकुरे या फिर ब्लू लेज?
Can I say like कुरकुरे ब्लू लेज के स्वाद के साथ?
एक स्टीरियोटाइप इंडियंस के लिए जो आपको लगता है मिथ है.
I mean, I think one thing is that like Hindi is like spoken everywhere as the national language, or that like Indians are one way specifically as opposed to another way. Like
This is such a huge and diverse country, and like even in the like Hindi heartland, the Hindi belt,
Like even most people's first language isn't even Hindi, right? It's like you have so many dialects from Bhojpuri to Awadhi to Marwari, and that's like just in the north.
it's like hard to pin down India to even one thing, because again, this is like a continent that is one country.
So we have 22 official languages, no national language yet, and people in different parts of the country speak different languages, and hence even in the dialects or the accent throughout the country, everyone speaks very differently. Would you agree with that?
Definitely.
Now the next question is, one stereotype that you think is true about Indians?
I think one thing that I have noticed is like the trash thing, and people talk a lot about. I hear the word everywhere. I know y'all have heard the word everywhere. Civic sense. Yaar har jagah kachra milta hai na. And it's.
It's unfortunate that there's so much plastic here, but this is so pretty. If we remove the plastic from
really
here.
heartbreaking sometimes to on the street, okay, and people sweep it every day, like a lot of places in
Even
Delhi and
yesterday
everywhere,
when we
every morning like all the trash getting swept, like okay, but then in like parks and in like beautiful places and like nature places, like people are like throwing bottles and stuff. It's like like. That's a little heartbreaking, and I hope that some progress can be made on this front, because this is a beautiful country with like a lot of beautiful space, and I think with a little development and a little cultural shift, like
And education.
yeah, we can keep it a little cleaner, a little more beautiful.
Okay, one thing that you know for a fact you can get in India, but you do not get in the United States.
Chach, good chach. Yo,
Chach.
I never had, I didn't understand the wonders of chach before I came to India, right?
Buttermilk in America is completely different. It's like sour and disgusting and industrial, and it's something that you would never want to drink. Here, chaach is completely different, and then with some like masala and namak, it's my favorite drink. I drink it like sometimes every single day.
One last question for you. How did you manage to become the MLA of Kora Pakora Pradesh?
It really wasn't too hard. You just gotta find the right people, give the right rishwat, and jeet gaye election to. Can I say that?
Yeah. आपको भी मज़ा आया कि नहीं आया, बताना ज़रूर कमेंट कर और चलो, मैंने आपको पहले भी कहा था, ज़िंदगी बहुत कठिन है, मैं आपसे बात नहीं कर सकती. गुड बाय. अच्छा, एक सेकेंड वेट. प्लीज़ लाइक, शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब, ताकि मैं बहुत बढ़िया गेस्ट्स लेकर आ सकूं और हम आपसे मिलेंगे अगले हफ्ते.
This is the outro from Brain Rot Girl.